Joining us now is Ojinika Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinika.
Good morning, Dr. Abati.
Good to see you in the new year.
I was hoping this new year will bring about a new change to my name, but no, we're sticking to it. How are you?
I'm good.
Good morning, Ayo. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
Hope you had a good one.
I did. Had a fantastic one. Hope you did too.
Yes, I did.
All right.
Well, good morning to you, viewers, and Happy New Year. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe.
In Italy, the Vatican on Sunday shared images of the late Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI, who died on Saturday at the age of 95, lying in his home chapel at the Mater Ecclesiae Monastery, where he lived before his death. The former pontiff's body will today, January 2nd, lie in state at St. Peter's Basilica for public viewing until Thursday, January 5th, when he will be laid to rest. In Brazil, leftist leader Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva was sworn in as president of the country on Sunday under tightened security in the capital Brasilia, following threats of violence by supporters of his far-right predecessor, Jair Bolsonaro. The 77-year-old president narrowly defeated Bolsonaro in October to win an unprecedented third presidential term after a hiatus that saw him spend a year and a half behind bars on corruption convictions that were later overturned. In Uganda, authorities have confirmed the death of at least 9 people, including a 10-year-old boy who died in a stampede during a New Year celebration in Kampala, the capital of the country. The incident happened in the early hours of Sunday at the Freedom City Mall when an event host ushered people to watch a fireworks display. The police say at least 5 people died at the scene and 4 others died from their injuries at the hospital. Under sports, the funeral rites of Brazilian football legend Pelé, who died after a battle with colon cancer at the age of 82 on Thursday, December 29, is set to begin today, January 2nd, as friends and family continue to pay tribute to the 3-time World Cup winner, his mother, Celeste Nascimento, who celebrated her 100th birthday last month. With Pelé recording the special moment on Instagram, is said to be unaware of her son's death. Pelé is due to be buried in a 14-story cemetery, a Guinness World Records holder for the tallest cemetery in the world, in the center of Santos, where he played most of his club football on Tuesday, January 3rd. Finally, under entertainment, multiple award-winning novelist Chimamanda over the weekend was conferred with the Chieftaincy title of Odelua, which means writer for the world, by the traditional ruler of her community in Anambra State, Igwe Leonard Nwankwo Eze. Her chieftaincy title was the first of such on a woman in her hometown of Aba. The highly acclaimed novelist, who is one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people in the world, is best known for her award-winning novels Purple Hibiscus, Half of a Yellow Sun, and Americana. The ceremony was well attended by dignitaries, including the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. Chimamanda, accompanied by her husband and other members of her family, during the ceremony, described her chieftaincy title as very remarkable and a challenge for her to do more for her community.
To be celebrated here today is very moving for me. I'm very happy. I'm filled with joy, and it also makes me want to continue to do well, because I think that it's important to my people that I continue to represent them well.
Another win for Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Congratulations to Chimamanda. I mean, this title that she got, like I said, is the first in her home community. She's about the first chief in her hometown. So I think it's such a great honor that they bestowed on her over the weekend. But more importantly, she talked about the fact that she was accepting the award on behalf of her parents as well. Her father, Professor James Adichie, was given a chieftaincy title as well. This is Odelora, which means writer for the people, and now she is Odelua, writer for the world. I love it, really, Dr. Abati.
Well, I mean, you know I'm biased when it comes to...
I know. I think both of us. I don't know about you, Ayo.
I am as well. I'm so delighted that we're starting off with that story today.
Out of my respect for her talent, for her genius, for what she's been able to achieve. And, I mean, the honor is very well deserved. Odeluwa Aba. If you look at her novel, Popular Discourse, in fact, that community features very prominently in that particular narrative. And beyond that, she's taken our community and the whole country and Africa to the global stage. She's been honored by Harvard universities, by institutions across the world for the quality of her work, for the strong narrative about the incompleteness of the single story and how there are many perspectives, you know, to reality, whether it is feminism or culture or the common heritage that we all share as a global community. And she has done this very consistently in novels and also in her essays. So she's someone, you know, that we are all very proud of, either in the literary community or in Nigeria or elsewhere. Now, this special title, Odeluwa, the writer of global acclaim, coming from our immediate community, she has accepted it, and I think that this is a clear illustration of how a prophet, in this case, a prophetess, has honor in her own home. And our kindred, our kith and kin, you know, they've considered it necessary to honor her, and she accepted the honor. I've seen one musician online, one guy called Brimo.
Brimo.
Is it Brimo?
It's Brimo.
Okay, complaining that, oh, this is anti-Peter Obi, and that Chimamanda Adichie accepting a traditional title and not taking the national honor of Nigeria, you know, it's not good for the... But Brimo, you called him, he should go and sit down. This is a perfect case of your sister is building a house, you are going there to go and steal blocks and bags of cement. Because I don't see the connection.
I mean, I really don't
between Peter Obi's ambition and Chimamanda Adichie, you know, accepting to be honored by our own people. When she was given the national honors of Nigeria, she rejected it. She didn't even show up. Okay, and that was an ideological choice. And she will not be the first person to reject the national honor of Nigeria. Chinua Achebe, whom she considers and whom all of us consider, you know, a role model, a source of inspiration for generations of people in African literature and world literature, as it is otherwise called in an expansive sense, you know, rejected the national honors of Nigeria twice. Professor Wole Soyinka also in 2014 had cause to reject a centenary award from the Nigerian government. So writers have the right to make ideological choices. So linking, you know, the Odeluwa title to Peter Obi's ambition, you know, is a very unimaginative way of commenting on public affairs. If Brimo does not know what to say, you should just congratulate her, as we do here.
That's it.
And let Chimamanda Adichie know that at the earliest opportunity, you don't just come and collect title around here. It has implications.
There must be implications.
Yes.
There must be implications.
To be measured in pepper soup and jollof rice.
Why did I know he was going to say that, Ayo?
I am looking forward to my first implications here because I've heard so many things about it.
Well, it's your birthday this month.
It's my birthday.
Oh, fantastic.
We are waiting.
No, you have to do the implication first.
I'm looking forward to that. But, you know, the thing about it, this, you know, what makes this very special is that Chimamanda Adichie, Ngozi Adichie, does not hide her love and pride in the hometown where she was raised and where she's from. She reflects it in her literature, in her speaking engagements, and very importantly, in her acceptance speech of this title, and by the way, very fitting, the first female chief to be so recognized as a feminist as she is, you know, and promoting equal rights for both men and women. Yes. It's very important to note the fact that she talked about the role that her upbringing and the way that her parents raised her to have an appreciation for her hometown. You know, I often look at her because she's gone on many stages, talked about how she's been awarded, you know, given honorary degrees by Harvard, recognized by many international institutions, yet never losing herself or losing the depth of who she is, particularly from, you know, Aba in the Igbo part of Nigeria, from Nigeria, proudly Nigerian, raising the flag of Nigeria, particularly her hometown. And I think this is a worthy and deserving honor indeed. Absolutely. She continues to be a role model for young people, young girls, young boys from, from different parts of Nigeria to see that you are first Nigerian, you're first African, and you should be proudly so. Congratulations. What a way to start off the New Year's trending.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
Chief, please.
Chief.
Chief. Chimamanda.
I love it.
Odelua.
Odelua won worldwide.
I love it. You're so proud. Look at you. Okay, congratulations, Chief Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Well, let's continue what's trending with reactions trailing the endorsement of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party Peter Obi by Nigeria's former president Olusegun Obasanjo ahead of the 2023 general election. Obasanjo made the endorsement on Sunday in his New Year message to Nigerians. He urged young people to be more deliberate about the choices they make, using the phrase "Ẹ̀yin ló kàn," meaning it's your turn, adding that the power to change is in their hands and that the 2023 elections should not be taken for granted. In the meantime, the Presidential Campaign Council of the APC described Obasanjo's endorsement of Peter Obi as worthless, adding that the former president hardly has strong electoral value, while the PDP's Presidential Campaign Council, in a statement, pronounced that whether Obasanjo likes it or not, Atiku will be president in his lifetime. Let's take some tweets. Well, this is from author and activist Reno Omokri, who wrote, President Obasanjo is a good-hearted man. He has always wanted a president from the southeast or close to the southeast as a way to heal the civil war wounds. In 2007, he wanted Peter Odili, but Yar'Adua insisted on Governor Jonathan as VP. What OBJ did won't affect the election. Hashtag table shaker. Well, Daniel wrote, Obasanjo endorsing Peter Obi isn't a news worth celebrating. Don't forget, the same Obasanjo once supported Jonathan in 2011, then switched to Buhari in 2015 before endorsing Atiku in 2019, reportedly. You all complain about godfatherism, but overlook it when it favors you. Get serious. Well, Victor wrote, no endorsement will decide the outcome of the 2023 elections. Obasanjo also endorsed Buhari in 2015. And what has become of our nation? Only Nigerians will endorse who will become their president and not an individual. Well, in another development, the People's Democratic Party has asked the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, to apologize to Atiku Abubakar for allegedly telling unsubstantiated tales about the 2003 presidential election. The Rivers State governor had over the weekend said Nigeria's former president Olusegun Obasanjo went down on his knees and begged Atiku Abubakar to allow him to run for a second term, adding that Atiku agreed, but on the grounds that he must remove the late Tony Anehi, a former minister of works and a PDP chieftain from the campaign council at the time. Let's take a listen before we come back for a discussion.
In 2002 and 2003, when President Olusegun Obasanjo wanted to run for second tenure, a Hope president wanted to run for a second tenure, he knelt down before his vice. He knelt down before his vice presidential candidate, the vice president, and said, my vice, please allow me to run. You know the condition he gave him? One of the conditions, you know what he gave him? Tony Anini must be sacked as Minister of Works. And Tony Anini must not be the President Campaign Council. Obasanjo obliged and sacked Tony Anini as Minister of Works. And removed him from Presidential Council and brought him back to South. This one, we are not even doing that. We are not saying, sack this one, give for the... No. We are only saying, by the constitution of our party, by what the national chairman said, and by what you told me in my house when you came to see me. Now you have gotten the president. We are not fighting about it. We say you have taken, we don't want to fight. Okay, give us the national chairman. And you say, no, we will not listen to people. Don't give us condition. Something that is touching on the foundation of the unity of a country.
Now, Dr. Bati, this has generated a lot of reactions on social media. I'd like your take on this particular topic before we talk about
Well, I saw Governor Wike, since he lost the presidential primaries and he was not chosen as vice presidential candidate running mate to Atiku, there have been many tales. He and his supporters have been claiming that they are fighting on the basis of equity, fairness, and justice, namely, that the chairman of the party cannot come from the north and the presidential candidate at the same time. But the party claims that it has since moved on. The party has passed a vote of confidence on Senator Iyorchia Ayu. But Wike and co and gang, you know, the rebellious gang, the rebellious wing of the People's Democratic Party, they insist that they will make an earth-shaking announcement in January. We're waiting for that. You know, what that earth-shaking announcement will be. But of course, as I have pointed out on this program, Wike is the only one there who is not running for election. All the other persons, they are either going to Senate or like Makinde in Oyo State, they are seeking a second term. You know, they could take steps that could sabotage them too. So you cut your nose to spite your face. They have that. And it looks like they are a group of agitators who are looking for shelter outside of the PDP. Would they go out of the PDP? Would they remain in the PDP? Would the tales continue as people are accusing Wike of storytelling? Well, I think in 2003 that he was talking about, he must have been a local government chairman somewhere in one remote location, Obiakpo local government. So, yeah, you know, people who are better informed in the matter will probably report whether indeed you had the president begging his vice president in 2003. And if he's using that parallel, is he saying that Atiku should come and kneel down for him? I don't think that's likely to happen. Is he saying that Atiku should come and beg him? Where Atiku says he has met with him about 5 times. Other members of the party have met with him. But he and his group are saying there is an irreducible minimum. Now, by this January, as he has promised, we will know where the matter is. In any case, after February 15, all of these people who are getting hypertensive over all kinds of things, you know, their system will calm down because the election will have been won and lost. And I hope that we'll be able to just have peace, you know, and that all the gladiators will allow us to have peace, either with their verbal diarrhea or with their physical exertions or their emotional displays over this all-important transitional election in Nigeria. As for President Olusegun Obasanjo, well, we discussed this in extenso earlier before you joined us. One, yes, there is celebrity endorsement. People endorse people, but how does that affect the price of garri or rice? What is important is that the average Nigerian voter must make an informed choice. I said it, President Obasanjo himself has just he has one voter's card. He cannot use more than that one voter's card. But as a prominent Nigerian, as statesman, as 2-time head of state, he probably, you know, has a strong opinion. But how many people will follow his opinion? That remains to be seen. The second thing, of course, is that, look, this election is so important. People have the right, under the Constitution, he has the right to make his own choice. And if he says it's Peter Obi that he has endorsed, I don't think he should be insulted because of that. It is his choice. After all, the other day, Chief Atoize said he was opposed to Peter Obi. Now, President Obasanjo is saying, oh, he thinks that Peter Obi has an edge. So you have people who endorse, you have people who will reject. But the voter should be informed. You make your own choice. The President Obasanjo doesn't have more rights than you. Yeah. You know, despite his prominence and his, you know, role in Nigerian history. But he says some other even far-reaching things beyond the choice. His assessment of the Buhari administration. He thinks that the Buhari administration has imposed distress on Nigeria. He thinks that the Buhari administration has imposed hell on earth on Nigerians. And he says the young people of Nigeria should look for that leader who can make a difference, who can move this country forward. So I don't think we should just focus on the sensational part. Yeah. He has endorsed Peter Obi, and he said he does not believe in Emilokoism. No, or it is my turn, or I've been there before. He says this election should be about we and us,
well said,
not about Emilokoism or I, me, myself,
and I.
All right, Ayo, what do you make of that picture that Wike, painted of Obasanjo going down on his knees to, beg Atiku Abubakar to allow him run for a second term? A lot of people have disclaimed it, like the PDP are saying that he should apologize. I'd like your particular thought on that.
Yes, thank you. So, Governor Nyesom Wike is known for his big work. He makes shocking statements. Sometimes they want to off his mic. Politicians are quick to say that, why would you do that? You're meant to be one of us. I mean, when he talks about the 13% derivatives by the governor, asking people by the oil-producing state governors and how they hadn't declared, and he declared just off the cuff when was inaugurating a bridge. And now he's talking about what must have transpired or what might have transpired in 2002 and 2003. History would say that at that time, I mean, the PDP Board of Trustees chairman, Chieftaincy, didn't resign until about 2015. So it's interesting the time lapse between the time when this conversation was meant to have happened and when the resignation actually happened. Truth is that, as Mr. Frank Schweib, the special assistant to the PDP candidate, said that unfortunately Chieftaincy is not here to defend himself. Yes. So we cannot, except for there was an independent observer. The only person that we can look forward to a rejoinder or to confirm or deny this fact is President Olusegun Obasanjo himself. Unfortunately, he didn't include it in the letter from yesterday, so he didn't quite address that. It would be worthy of note to understand the importance, why he brought it up in conversation. As Dr. Bati said, was it so that he's now the Obasanjo in this case, whereby they were agitating for a removal of one person as the key to securing his presidential ambition? And that's almost the same thing that they're asking, President in waiting or presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar to do. Very important points here. But also, I want to just say one thing quickly about President Obasanjo's letter, because the focus from politicians, obviously, is on the fact that he's endorsing one candidate. However, he also made many salient points, particularly speaking to the young people of Nigerians. He reminded young people that politics is a game of numbers, and we must not, in all that's happening around in the political world, forget that you have the numbers as young people. Beyond complaining, beyond an agitation for a new Nigeria, is that you must exercise the power of your numbers by getting your PVCs and voting. The power lies with you. Please don't let anyone deceive you otherwise. Go out there. He's giving the criteria for voting in a president. Whomever your choice is, make that choice and ensure you take ownership of your Nigeria.
Very well said, Ayo. We shall take our final story. The governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai, at the Kaduna 2023 countdown celebration, wished the people of Kaduna a Happy New Year. He also appealed for optimism despite the tough times. Well, in a video that is now making the rounds on social media, the governor was seen dancing to Kiss Daniel's famous song, Buga, into the new year. Let's take a look. Well, Governor El-Rufai definitely got the memo there. You know, I have a thing for the Buga song. Like you said, I hope they pick his Dano for all these that they use. Well, thank you both for your great analysis.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to Keith Daniel.
Yes.
From presidents to governors to presidential candidates.
Absolutely.
Everybody has been bugaing. May we all buga in the year 2023.
Dr. Bati, thank you. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.